Jonathan Trowan here. I wanted to talk to you today about values. You've often heard me say, a life lived honoring your values is a fulfilling life. A life lived not honoring your values is an unfulfilling life. It's a simple equation, simple as that. You honor your values, you have a fulfilling life. You don't honor your values, or you honor other people's values because other people are always trying to impart their values to you. If you do this, you will be happy, you will be successful, you will be whatever. Do what I think you're supposed to do. So sometimes we honor other people's values. If you honor your values, fulfilling life. If you don't honor your values, unfulfilling life. So it's a simple equation. But what happens when you have values that compete with each other head to head? So this is what happened to me over the last few days. If you go through the Self-Love Revolution course, there's a whole section on values, and we ask you to define your top 5 values. And it doesn't mean you only have 5 values. We all have many, many values, but it's a starting point to see what part of your lives you might be neglecting, right? If we have these values and we don't see themselves showing up in our lives, we know they're being neglected. And that often happens when we don't bring consciousness to how we honor our values in our daily lives. So this happened to me, and I know it happens to a lot of people. They pick their top 5 values and they go, but these two, they compete with each other. And yes, that happens. So this is what happened to me over the last few days. I've joined this group of people. Some of you watching this are a part of that group. And we have committed to ourselves and each other to post content. It can be anything. It can be writing, songs, pictures, anything we want to share. But we share for 100 days. And it's a double commitment because we're committing to ourselves to share of ourselves, but we are also committing to see other people. So we look at other people's work and we comment on it, we give feedback, we ask questions to maybe bring them in a deeper direction. So it's a double commitment to ourselves and to others. So that is a value of mine, is showing up to things that you commit to. And I've made a commitment for 100 days. And we've done a few weeks of this and I've been committed, and all of a sudden there's something pushing up against that. So what's pushing up against that? I have another value that says no technology in nature. And I just went camping. I took my son camping, just the two of us, and we were out in nature. And I have this value of when you're in nature, you're just in nature. Get rid of the laptops, get rid of the cell phones, get rid of it all. Obviously, if you're in an emergency, use it. But you don't have to be checking your email every day when you're camping in the tent and out hiking and kayaking on the river and things like that. So I had these two competing values. Show up every day you said you would, and get your technology out of nature. I had to make a choice. Now, when this happens to you, I'm not saying that there is a right choice. I chose nature. I chose no technology in nature. It's an important value to me. I also wanted to model it for my son. Hey, you can be here in nature and not have the cell phones and not have anything, and you will survive. We can do it. Now, I could have easily gone the other way, and it would have been fine too. I could have been very quick. I could have just taken pictures of the river that our tent was set up next to and said, here's where I am now, and logged off. So it could have been done very quickly, and I could have explained to my son, hey, we made a commitment to show up, so we're just going to do this very quickly, and then we're back to nature. So I'm not saying there's a right and wrong. I chose nature, and I chose not to show up. Now, when you pick your 5 values, or however many values you pick, you are going to notice at times that they conflict with each other. You will be forced to make a decision. There's not a right decision. Now, some people will do no decision and then do nothing. You have to make a decision so at least you can honor one of them. And then what do we do about the other one? So I didn't show up. 3 days, I didn't show up. Well, this is where self-compassion comes in. This is where forgiveness comes in. So I get to forgive myself. I get to say, Jonathan, I forgive you for not showing up, for not holding that part of your commitment so that you could honor another value. I see the guilt in you. Yeah, and there was guilt because I didn't show up for me, but more so, I didn't show up for those others that we've only been doing it for a few weeks so far, but amazing connections with people have been made. I feel like I know some of these people. I've never seen them. And these amazing connections have been made just by us sharing feedback and comments with each other. So there's a sense of guilt for not showing up for them. So Jonathan, I forgive you. I forgive you. I can ask forgiveness from them too. And I did tell them I'd be away for a few days. But more importantly, I forgive myself. And I see the guilt inside of me, and I hold space for it. I have grace. I have grace for that part of me that did not hold that value, that did not honor that value. I hold it with grace. I hold it with forgiveness. And that's what we have to do, because this happens throughout life. This isn't the first time I had competing values. And you're going to have values that go head to head with each other. It's inevitable. It's part of living life. So you have to be prepared for it. And you have to be prepared to make a hard decision, pick one over the other, knowing that there's no right and wrong. And then practice forgiveness and practice self-compassion and practice having grace for yourself. Yes, you didn't honor one of your values, but you chose one and went full in. A life lived honoring your values is a fulfilling life. Choose your values wisely. Choose how you honor them wisely. Forgive yourself when you're unable to honor a value. Hold space and grace for yourself when that happens. And honor the values you're able to as often as you can, every single day. A life lived honoring your values is a fulfilling life. Live that beautiful, beautiful life. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you will honor your values. If you want more of this, join me at selfloverevolution.com. Remember, you are loved. I'll see you next time. I'm Jonathan Trowan.